Mm, What's up? We're live, guys. Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to get straight into it. I want to talk about the number one way to grow your eBay, Poshmark, Amazon business, reselling business, how to lose weight. Everything is all related to the same exact thing. I'm going to break it down with you guys right now, and hopefully it'll be useful for you guys. Haven't been on social for a while, and here I am. Okay, so the number one thing you can do to grow your eBay, Poshmark, and Amazon business, a lot of people would say what it is willpower. Just do it. Just get your ass in gear and put in the work. I used to think that, okay, and I no longer think that anymore. Okay, it's no longer willpower. Willpower does not work. And I'm going to be quoting a book by Ben Hardy, which talks about, or the book is called Willpower Doesn't Work. It's a great title, and it really gets to the point. Where basically, this is the secret. Okay, the hidden secret to growing your business or your life is changing your environment. Okay, I did not think about this ever. And I just want to give a brief background. I think a lot of the things that we do are reactive, like we're medicating. One of the things that I'm going to get into today is why we choose to procrastinate instead of working. I think the main reason is the environment that we are in is incorrect. So I don't think you can change your behavior. I'm starting to believe that the only thing that you're really doing is changing your environment, and that changes your behavior. So let me explain what I mean by that. So um, I just recently started running. I signed up for a half marathon. A lady, Lori, shout out to Lori. Lori is awesome. She's Hey Lori1 on Instagram if you guys want to follow her. She signed my girlfriend and I up to a half marathon, and so it was amazing. Okay, so I'm in the half marathon. I didn't want to let her down because she gave me free access to it, so started training for it. And as soon as I started running, I stopped caring about social media. It sounds so weird, but like the reason that you're usually not motivated is usually because you're so isolated. I've done a lot of videos on this before. If you're just at home by yourself, trying to force yourself to do something, that's really, really hard. But it's not hard to join a running club, go with the people, especially people who are at your same level. You're hanging out together, you're doing the same thing, you have the same goal. It's more fun, it's easier. It's harder to do things by yourself than with other people. Especially with this many people on earth, you really need to get out of your house, especially if you're a reseller and you work as a solopreneur by yourself. It's really hard to get motivated. The opposite of isolation is collaboration. The opposite of procrastination is somebody relying on you to get that done. It's amazing. Like when something needs to get done, you get it done. That's why they call it like the parent effect. Some people have a kid and then it makes them more responsible. Now that's not always the case. I do know people who have a kid and it doesn't change their behavior at all. They're exactly the same. But I do think that most of the time it's not heroes that um, crush demanding situations. It's actually demanding situations that create heroes. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. That's from Will Durant, this famous philosopher, maybe the most famous philosopher of all time, says that amazing people are created by tough situations. And the analogy he gives is if you are a tree and you go through a lot of tough situations, your roots are going to be really, really deep. Okay, so if your roots are really deep, when bad stuff happens, you can pull nutrients out and still survive while the going is tough, right? But if your roots are really shallow, any kind of storm can push you over and it'll knock you off your track. You don't have a very good reason to do things. People equate this to you don't have a strong enough why. And I just think you have to build that up over time. You can make your situation more demanding by adding you can add responsibility, or you can just make your situation tougher by adding a timeline is the easiest way to do that. Like say, okay, I want X amount done by this time, and you need to start improving your environment to really make this matter. So as an example, what I would do is I would start cleaning. If you make it an effort to clean your workspace, I actually think this is the most useful way to grow your eBay business or Amazon, especially eBay business, because you have all the inventory in your house. If you just clean, and that's your number one focus is to have a clean work environment, you're going to stop buying garbage, because if you buy garbage, you're going to have to clean it up again later. It takes a lot longer to process. It takes a lot longer to repair. You have little piles of garbage all over your place. That's the opposite of cleaning your house, right? So making a really clean workspace has really helped me. I'm trying to make my workspace clean, easy to see, easy to find things. I start to put things back more often. I start to only pick up things that are less and less work. This is why people with a lot of capital and mental clarity only buy brand new stuff. Even if the margin is lower, they can move at a much faster pace because they're either sending an Amazon FBA, or imagine like you're just replenishing the same item over and over again wholesale. There's no listing involved. You don't need to list every day. If your listing sells every day, you'll maintain that rank. Today, I just got off the phone with eBay merchant support, and I was asking for some best practices. I was like, hey, what do you recommend I do? And he basically said, pick a few stores that you want to cover, like you want to be like, and then don't listen to anyone else. Just do the same thing they're doing. Okay, so I'm starting to do that. Listen to what your inputs are. Your inputs are going to determine your outputs. Okay, this is the same thing as you are what you eat, right? So when I first heard you are what you eat, it was such a dumb saying that I just totally ignored it. But for some reason, when someone said your outputs are your inputs, I think that's from Zig Ziglar. It just sort of struck me as, okay, I get to choose my inputs instead of worrying about what I'm going to do, because that's really hard. What's up, Mo? Reseller Niches in the house. You can't force yourself to do things. That doesn't work. If you guys had this experience where you try to do something and then you do nothing about it, you really want to be successful, but you do nothing towards it. That happens to me all the time. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to start changing my inputs. Okay, so I'm going to work out more. I'm going to sign up for things that are fitness related. I'm going to go to the grocery store when I'm full. I'm going to change the way that I do things, and it's going to affect my overall output. And it's helped me tremendously. Like the opposite of procrastination is connection. So you guys need to write this down. If anything in this video, please write this down. If you want to improve anything that you're doing, connection is the key. Okay, you have to. Oh, you guys, if you guys can't hear, hop on the YouTube. I'm going to end the Instagram feed. Sorry about that, guys. So the key is connection, right? If you are trying to connect with people, it'll help you move to the next level. Okay, so the key is connection. So this is why social media is so evil. Are you guys ready for this? It's fake connection. Social media rewards you when you post something dramatic or like a Hall of Fame type thing. Like, oh, I just found something for $1 and sold it for 2,000. That'll get 1 million likes, right? And it'll reward you. It'll give you this sense of connection that's not real. And it goes away as soon as the post is no longer relevant. And you have to keep coming up with either salacious stuff, dramatic stuff, or incredible things for people to care. Okay, that's not how being connected actually works. To be connected with somebody, you have to be vulnerable. Okay, it's the opposite. You have to say to people, I'm struggling. I'm not doing well. I need help. I'm trying to get to this place and I'm stuck here. That is a true connection with somebody, right? This is why is it called the Stockholm syndrome? When people get kidnapped and then they fall in love with the people who kidnapped them, because it's such a climatic, a ridiculous situation that all that emotion, they're now tied to this person who kidnapped them, right? So emotion is key, and you want to have that connection with people in order to change your habits. Okay, so connect with people that are local to you, that resell, who have the same objective as you. I just came to the realization that all that stuff is fake. When I was on social media, every time I post something, 400 to 1,000 people, there's different interactions and impressions that happen, and I used to get a buzz from that, and I was basically self-medicating from being by myself all day. So if you're by yourself all the day, right, and then you're basically sick because you're human, and humans want to have connection, but you're by yourself all day. So what you're trying to do is look for medication. You're going to drink more. You're going to eat more. You're going to be stuck on social media. You're going to watch YouTube for 9 hours instead of getting your work done, because you're basically sick from not hanging out with other people. It sounds kind of cliche, but like the opposite of that is to connect with other people and tell them that your life is not going as well as you want it to be and you want to improve, instead of pretending on social media that your life is really awesome and getting fake connection from people that doesn't actually result in any improvement to your environment. So guys, this is kind of a long video. Sorry for kind of going off of the path of reselling a little bit, but I really do think the most important thing for you guys is to improve your input. Changing your environment is something you can control, and it will automatically change your behavior. If you work in a cleaner area and your focus is being clean, you'll stop making a mess. If you're trying to impress, your future in-laws, then you're going to be on your best behavior. But what if that best behavior was your normal behavior? That's what I'm trying to get people to move towards. I think that's pretty useful. I have a couple more ideas for you guys. So this is what I mean by input. So there are people that say, Chris, I really want to learn replenishables. I want to learn ordering stuff from China. I want to learn electronics. I want to learn something. But then what they do is they sell 100% clothing. They're always in the thrift store looking at clothing. I'm like, how are you going to learn wholesale at the thrift store? Wholesale is like when you're looking for suppliers, right? You're basically on the phone or you're sending emails looking for people to wholesale products to you. That is the opposite of the thrift store. But the thrift store is easier. You can go there and find something today. You might have to put in a week or 5 weeks or a year to get a wholesale connection to work with you. But it's like you need to change your environment. So if you don't like that, get a partner to work with you to make that work. Okay. It's very, very important to do that. So if you don't like searching for wholesalers, try to find an environment where you can do that. Say, okay, every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. after work, I'm going to go with my significant other, or I'm going to put on some headphones, listen to some instrumental music, and just for 2 hours a week, I'm going to work on wholesale, whatever, and just work on it at that time. Create an environment where you can actually work on that. Or you can go to a conference. You can go to Amazon ASD and look at millions of products. You can look at other people's stores. You can put yourself in the right frame of mind. Imagine if you go to a place like Amazon ASD, Affordable Shopping Destination is the conference in Vegas. It's free if you guys want to check it out. And you see 1 million products for sale wholesale. It's like not possible to go to that conference and then not suddenly start doing more wholesale. Start looking for things that you can replenish. Start looking for things that you can sell over and over again, right? So just start putting yourself in the right environment rather than trying to force yourself to do things through willpower, which is really, really, really hard. It doesn't work, actually. I've tried to be certain things and it just doesn't work. But if you create the right environment, you will just automatically become that person. And people say you're the average of the 5 people that are around you. That's really fuzzy, okay? Because they don't have to be real people, which is very confusing. So like some people are like, oh, I don't need people. So I'm just going to pick Elon Musk, Thomas Edison, Gandhi, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. For some reason, that this hypothetical person likes both of those people. If you don't get any real time with these people, it's really challenging. Okay, so it's much easier if you have a partner with the opposite skills of you. Like I'm going to shout out Brooks from Data Mine here. He's pretty cool. And he has a partner with opposite skill set. And they work really well together. But imagine 2 people, same goal, different skills. That's pretty amazing. And they're constantly in contact. Or if you pick a fictional person or a person that you can't reach to be in your 5, it's not going to be as effective. Honestly, the people who are actually in your life that you talk to often is a lot more powerful just because they're more legit there. So appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to make more videos journaling and documenting my ideas for you guys. But, the main thing is if you want to be tougher and you want to be more disciplined, change your environment. Like my old boss used to say, like, if you want to make $2,000 more per month and you are a responsible person, just buy a car that has a $2,000 car payment. You will just figure out how to make $2,000 more to pay for the car if that's what you really want, right? Or he's like, you could borrow one of my kids and feel like what it is to take care of another person's life, right? All these things you can do to make yourself tougher. And I don't really know how to do that other than just like upping your expectations for yourself, right? And there's some read in the chat, put be the person that your dog thinks you are. That's cool, but like I just pet sat my brother's dog for 11 days, and like that dog is so happy to see me no matter what situation that I'm in. So like it's that analogy makes sense, but then in reality, dogs love it when they see you usually, no matter what reason. So it's like I think I could still slack and my dog would still like me is the point I'm trying to make. But just like be the person, like you want to meet a future version of yourself doing something, try to be that person. But again, I don't think you can just try to be that person. I think you have to change your environment. You've got to make your workspace cleaner. You've got to make your sourcing cleaner. You've got to spend more time looking at products that sell well. You've got to spend more time refining your products. Another thing that I'm doing is I am reviewing 3% of my items every single day. So that's it. I'm just going to review, adjust 3% of my items every single day. And then after every 30 days, I've gone through all of my items. And that's just what I want to do. No matter how big my store is, I'd like to be at a capacity where I can review 3% of it per day. If you have a replenishable store, it's got to be more often than that. It's probably once a week, once every couple of days. Because if you're just selling one or two, under 100 products, you need to be very, very in tune to the market. Otherwise, you're not going to do well because there's so much competition in replenishables. Because obviously, you don't want to necessarily keep replenishing stuff every single month. Just as an example, I have a rental car business, right? So my cars rent out, I get paid, they bring them back. They rent out, they bring them back. I don't have to source a new car. It just stays there. If I was flipping cars, as soon as I sold it, I would need to go find another car and do it. But of course, the margin is going to be a lot smaller. When I'm renting my car, I only earn $30 per day when my car is being rented. If you flip a car, you can earn $1 to $2 grand in 5 minutes, right? Especially if you know exactly what you're looking for and you know how to fix cars. You can find cars that are a little bit damaged or people don't want to pay the repair bill and they're just launching it. Okay, so and this is a situation where, again, we always talk about how broken stuff or stuff that needs repair goes for big money. If you guys are still hanging out, please hit the like button. That'll help other people find this video. Just an average Joe is asking if it's 3% on all selling platforms. Yes. The way I have it set up, my spreadsheet can auto update all the websites for me that I sell on. Right now I am on 7 websites, but just 3 main ones. So just Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay are my main selling platforms. But you can adjust it depending on what platforms you sell on, what you want to focus on. eBay is the OG platform that I'm trying to move away from, but they have so much traffic, you can't really ignore eBay. My sales on eBay are very consistent. I don't need to do any sharing. I don't need to do anything except for find good stuff and put it up for sale, and it will sell on eBay. It's just a little bit wonky with all the different changes. It has a very complicated fee structure that you need to almost take an entire day to understand each time at the end of every single month to really understand I have about 500 transactions a month on eBay, and 500 transactions is 2,000 to 3,000 lines of stuff that you could manually go through if you want to make sure you're not getting overcharged or you're getting a specific amount refunded back to you. I have about 4% returns. So that's already 20 other transactions I'm reviewing each month. And with other platforms, you don't have to do that. They've simplified the structure. I think if eBay went to 16 or 17% fees and then got rid of their store subscription, got rid of their insertion fees, maybe if you want to play the promoted listings game, go for it. But a flat 16%. And then they also like to do the penalizing you if you have too many returns. So why not do 16% for good sellers, 20% for bad sellers, and then just that's it. People don't need to spend a whole day or half a day or any time at all figuring out how much they paid you. So you have $10,000 in sales, you pay eBay $2 grand, and you're done. You don't have to worry about figuring out reconciling at the end of the month. Also, if I was eBay, I would be working on figuring out a shipping deal because I see all these other platforms doing it. And it's almost like you want to sell something on eBay and have them buy the shipping label on a different platform because it's such an advantage. Like if you sell on platforms that are not eBay, the shipping is taken care of for you. You don't have to figure it out every single transaction. Maya has been ending listings with 400 views and selling similar, and her store is on fire. That's awesome. This is what I mean. Like, I think it's important to review part of your store every single day. Starting from the oldest is a great way to do it. Go to your oldest listings, tweak it, change the title, change the description, change the photographs, change the order of the photographs, try promoted listings, try free shipping, try adding shipping, try raising the price, lowering the price. If you do 3% of your store every single month, you're refreshing your whole store. If you were to do sell similar, then you're going to have a whole new set of listings each month. That might be a good way to do it, especially for those that have smaller stores. You could do 10% of your store once a week or 20% of your store once every few days. However you want to arrange it, the key is just being consistent. Vex, I've talked to eBay a lot because they're in my backyard, right? I go there all the time. eBay is very cool. The thing is, like, this is what eBay said. I was listening to I was reading the earnings call that Devin was having with, and Devin is the CEO of eBay, with these investment bankers. And they're like, okay, what is it that eBay is working on that's going to set them apart from the rest of the platforms? And they don't really have an answer except for structured data. So they're going to do data, which is like in related to the eBay product ID, or what, having a catalog of items, right? So the thing is, that's not a competitive advantage. Amazon already has that, and lots of platforms are trying to make item specifics fixed so that they can get an idea of exactly what sells well, so people can do it. And that's like to me, not a competitive advantage. And how are they going to grow the platform? Devin's answer was marketing, which to me is not an answer, because every single platform advertises. That's not different unless you have a bigger ad budget. And then maybe you're going to win that game if it's only advertising. But then eBay should be in the repeat customer business by making the customer stay. Once they've advertised and people start going on there, when I went to eBay Open, Mohan was talking about a coupon hits them to get them onto the platform. A coupon hits them for them to stay on the platform and buy a second thing. And a third coupon hits them so they can buy 3 things in a row on eBay. But the thing is, the experience of buying on eBay, in my opinion, is below so many other websites. The website that I think has the best experience for buying is Tradesy. Every item has the background cleaned. It's more upscale than Amazon or eBay. It's fun to shop there. And you get 30% more than eBay or the other websites, because it's like a retail environment. You can sell items for close to MSRP because the platform looks like a boutique, right? So the only downside of Tradesy is it takes almost 30 days to get paid. I don't even know how to get money out of it. So yet, because I've only started like a month ago, and I have transactions that just barely were arrived. So now I have to wait 21 days before I can get paid on that platform, which is kind of a cash flow problem. If I needed that money, that platform would probably not be good. So something to experiment with, but they're not necessarily, in my opinion, making the platform better for sellers or buyers. And then when asked how they're going to make more revenue, basically the answer is seller fees. So I would have loved to hear, like, we're going to have more buyers in the platform instead of increasing fees for sellers. I totally get it, and I understand where they're going. And then they also asked, why doesn't eBay move faster? And Devin answered, this is the same thing he always answers, which is, we don't. We're not like that. And that makes sense to me. eBay is not reactionary, guys. eBay doesn't make crazy changes and to adapt to what other people are doing. The only exception was they now have offer to watchers, or like they're beta testing that thing, which is very cool. And I don't know where they got that idea, but like maybe they've been working on it for years and years and years. But that was like a totally new feature. And also this like dropping down price thing, this trending price thing. But again, I don't think eBay is reactive. I would be very surprised if they haven't been working on this technology for a really, really, really long time before they release it. They're different than most platforms in a sense that they're very flat. There's not a lot of changes. eBay is very similar to what it was last year. Let's see. No gated items means more competition. This is true. So if you don't have any restrictions, the price can drop because more people can sell the items. That is better for customers as far as they can get a better deal. But I don't know if it's better for customers because the variance and quality, like if I want something and I really need it, I won't buy it on eBay because the quality is questionable. I don't know if this person is lying, versus on Amazon, I believe I'm going to be receiving a gift quality brand new item. Yeah, eBay is really cool. So Craig is asking what my current ASP is. It depends. I actually have 5 buckets of different ASP. I have stuff that I buy for $1 and sell for 20. That's actually my favorite because the margin is really high. You're turning like $1 into 6 or 7. That's my favorite way to do it. But for those items, I want to learn how to order and get those in bulk, because the largest eBay sellers that I know have an ASP of $20. The ones that are 7 figures or higher, most of them sell stuff that they buy for $1 or 50 cents or 10 cents and sell it for $20. An example of that is like batteries. There's a store locally called Batteries Plus. I don't know if you guys have that in your area, but people need batteries and they pay 10 to 50 cents for them and they sell them for $24.99. That margin is unreal, right? So you're talking about stocking an entire store, 10, 20 grand, you can make 6 figures because the margin's so high. But I also have more rare pieces that I spend 5 and sell for 30. I also like buy for 15 and sell for 45. My margin will start to shrink. I'm okay with buying for 50 and selling for 100 too. Even maybe buying for 60 and selling for 100. Even though that margin is smaller, you get a larger amount of dollar amount coming in, and I just like that. So depends on your model, but ASP wise, I have 5 different things that I purchase for my store. So it depends. It depends on what part of my store and what platform you're looking at. Also, I don't list every item on every single platform. Some platforms are better than others. And now my favorite thing to learn about is Amazon, because my eBay, Poshmark, Mercari strategy is set for the rest of the year. I'm not going to be making any more changes. So I'm going to have a very boring YouTube channel because I'm not going to make any changes the rest of the year. I'm going to take notes from eBay. They don't change shit. Excuse my language, but they don't change anything. And they seem to be doing just fine. Like all these things that you would think would put eBay out of business haven't put eBay out of business. When you talk to eBay about Poshmark and Mercari, their answer is those websites are tiny. We do more revenue in one day than they do in an entire year. Right? They don't care. Like they don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect their business at all. The only thing I saw was a little bit funny is like Wish, Mercari, eBay, all these different websites that are not eBay, they get a lot of traffic. So I don't know. Maybe the traffic doesn't convert, but you're looking at. Let me give you guys like one of the reasons why eBay doesn't care as much, because eBay has 1 billion unique visitors, and Poshmark is Mercari is number 2 with like 40 million. So like 1 billion versus 40 million. That's like not even in the same ballpark as far as total traffic, right? So I understand why eBay is not reactive, because they're still crushing it. You know, they're still Fortune 500. Very healthy. They seem very profitable to me. Nobody at eBay looks stressed out to me like they're going under. The only people who look like they're going under is eBay sellers. People who work at eBay seem totally fine. They don't seem stressed out. I just went to the eBay. I went to an eBay event this year where they were hiring 250 people. Like no companies that are struggling hire 250 new people to work on different projects, right? They seem perfectly fine. So what's up, Eric? Let's see. What is the absolute largest size eBay or e-commerce business a person could run on their own with no drop shipping? I've seen by yourself. I would say 200 items a week. If you're doing 100% one-offs and you somehow are able to stay sane, you could do 200 items a week. Whatever your ASP is on that is what it is, because it takes time to process and research and do things. If you're going to go replenishables, Eddie Levine runs a $15 million business by himself. So like, you know, like I have seen that you could probably do $1 billion by yourself if you just had, you know, replenishable products that were in the top 1,000 on Amazon, and you were the only person allowed to sell it, and you could go on to everybody else's platform and suspend their account. They try to sell your stuff. And then not only do you have the ability to suspend other people jumping on your product, Amazon becomes your main buyer. I mean, you can print money if you become at that. Like if you were the only person that could sell Oreos, you'd probably make millions of dollars without any help. But if you're just a normal person flipping one-off items, probably 200 items a week, whatever your ASP would be, whatever you sell. I've really never, it rounds to zero, the number of people who sell more than 1,000 items a month by themselves. Almost zero. Yeah, Nathan's at 100 items a week, and he's slowly going insane. So you guys know I did an event with the reseller fam ladies, which was amazing. And we met 200 plus resellers in Kansas City, and almost zero people sell over 100 items per week. It's very hard, right? Because most people are doing it part-time. Most people do not have help. One exception to the rule is like Rally Roots, right? Shout out to Ryan and Allie. They have help, and it's also a husband and wife team. So husband and wife plus Callie, that's a lot. They're talking about, if you just do the same math, that's 300 items a week, right? But it's not 300 items a week. It's probably more, because you become more efficient when you diversify. So for me, I'm at around 300 items a week with 2 full-time people, right? So that's like 3 people. That's not even that special. It's just 100 per person, which is the same as what everybody else is doing. Replenishables is just something that you can order again, that you don't need to find. So like an example of a non-replenishable would be these Warren Buffett rubber ducks, right? They are unique. They were given out at the Berkshire annual meeting in Omaha, right? So like these, you could private label, like you could go to China and have them make knockoffs of these. This is Charlie Munger. And that would be replenishable if you had them made in China, because you could just keep ordering them as they sell. There's a pretty decent rubber duck market on eBay too. If you guys want to get in the rubber duck game, it's probably pretty decent, because these are pretty cool. Like I would, when I was selling these, I was selling them for like $20, and wholesale these are probably 50 cents to $1. So earlier, somebody in the general was asking what my ASP is. If I could, it would all be $20. Stuff I buy for $1, because this is a great gift. Anybody who likes investing or an up and coming finance person would probably enjoy these ducks for $20. So that's what I would sell if I was purely in it for the money. I probably would just sell replenishables that are $20, because that's like 90% of all the big time sellers. What's up? So Denim Diva is asking, you started cross promoting eBay items on Poshmark and seeing 40% of your sales are coming from Poshmark. Could I share what percentage of my sales come from different platforms? I would say it's almost 50-50 eBay and Poshmark, and that's about 70% of my sales. 30% from other platforms. Together is starting to pick up some steam for me. I had my second sale there. Bonanza, I sell stuff all the time. TradeZ does very well for me. I sold my first item on Depop. I have a lot of vintage pieces I'm about to throw up on Grailed for men's. Like I found that pair of Nike Flashes, and on eBay they range between $600 and $1,200, and I paid $20 for those. So, but I think I'm going to throw them on Vinted or StockX, because there's a heavier influence. Maybe even Poshmark, because they have the authentication, which is very, very cool. If you go, yeah. eBay is not the best place for high-end items, in my opinion, because there's no authentication service. I like authenticating really expensive items because it makes the buyer feel better. Paying an extra, $100 to make sure $1,000 item is real is a no-brainer. Suzanne was talking about selling Viagra pens. That sounds like a winner, winner chicken dinner. I would love to be able to sell that kind of stuff, because it makes men excited. People will pay big money for that. Do you think it's worth private labeling an item to sell as unbranded replenishable? If the keywords work, then yes. For example, if you were going to, now since we're on the topic of Viagra, if you were to make a generic penis enlargement pill, Maya's penis enlargement pill, and you were to put it on eBay, you do not need the brand. Okay, like it's not that important. People are searching for penis enlargement pill. If you don't believe me, do that search and see how many freaking products show up for that, to increase your manhood. A lot of products. Okay, in that situation, people are going to be looking for price sensitive stuff. They're going to be looking for stuff that, has testimonials, it's not going to rely as much as, because there's like, that stuff's not heavily advertised. You could sell it on eBay just fine with a private label. I thought about getting into sexual wellness. That category is really cool. But I don't want to sell stuff that doesn't work. Right. So you guys know, like, I have a hard time believing penis enlargement works. I don't know why we're talking about this, but so like I wouldn't be able to sell that because I'd have like a moral issue with that. But as another example, I do think lubricant works. So I'd have no issue private labeling. What's the big one? Astroglide. I could make Husky Glide and have a picture of a dog jumping in the air. I think that would sell, because if it was a similar price to the other, to Astroglide, and it does the exact same thing, I think that would definitely work, and I wouldn't have an issue selling that because I think it actually does something. Tanya, you're right. eBay does have a high-end authentication service, but it's not clear and obvious. Like Poshmark, over $500, you send it to them first. Extremely clear. Tradesy, you send it in to the customer. They don't think it's authentic. They handle it. You send it back to Tradesy. They verify it. If it's legit, there's no returns. They send it back to the customer. I'm not sure if they send it back to the customer, but there's no returns. And they authenticate it for you. So that gives people the confidence that the item are legit. So it's pretty important. That's pretty funny, Joe. But yeah, anyway, if you guys are enjoying this, please hit the like button. And I just want to share with you guys, I think the number one thing to improve your eBay or your reselling business in general, just changing your environment. Make your workspace cleaner. Get up a little bit earlier because of a reason, right? Maybe you have an early morning running club. Maybe you joined a cooking club and now you're making different kinds of meals. Connection. Focus on connection. That will change your habits, not willpower. Willpower doesn't work. Connect with other people. It's very important. That's why I am still making videos, okay? Because I feel like okay, this is the straight truth, okay? Being on YouTube is not worth it. The reason why I like it is because I enjoy meeting people from it, and I have some really wonderful friends that I got from YouTube, but that doesn't actually outweigh the negative stuff that comes with it. So overall, it's a net loss, but I'm going to go ahead and still keep doing it because I like journaling and I like the good people that I meet, but overall, it's negative. I think that if I just were to meet real people in person, build my business and surround myself with 5 other entrepreneurs and talk to them on the phone, text them, go visit them, I would do a lot better. But again, YouTube is great. I'm just saying it's a net negative overall because it's like you'll get 1,000 positive comments and 2 negative people and it'll ruin your day. That is real. Okay. Like I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't hurt my feelings. So I'm not going to be in that situation where I'm like, I don't care what other people think. I'm not like that. So I don't want to make content that offends people or whatever. I'm just here to provide my experience. And so again, not into it that way. So I'm going to make less content, but I'm going to think through it a lot more. I recommend that you guys read Willpower Doesn't Work by Ben Hardy. And I also recommend you check out Will Durant's stuff because it's very important. And I'm going to leave you with that last thought again, which is your inputs determine your outputs. And also demanding situations create heroes, not the other way around. Okay, so if you want more out of your life, create a more demanding situation. Everybody have a great day. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.